What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Life Unfiltered with Isaiah. And of course, I'm never by myself, but I have the lovely queen with me, Lady Cash, in the building.
Daddy.
You know what I'm saying? And we're here, of course, y'all already know what we're talking about, that black mind, culture, love, and heart experience, right? So we're excited to be back with y'all and thank y'all for tuning back in. And I think today is just us in the studio, you know what I mean? Like we don't have any special guests, which is exciting. And we'll have the ability to really dive into the love aspect of the show where we're talking about, you know, us being young, black, millennials, because I mean we're millennials, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different generation that's out now. You know what I mean? But let's talk about what it means to be young, black, married, but still culturally relevant. Like, and I think that's good. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's good because being young, black, and married is really not popular anymore. Like, I mean, is it?
Um, Honestly, I wouldn't say no. Or I feel like people feel like they're gonna lose their self, or some young couples I know like kind of like have like lost their self. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like we can call this episode Millennial Marriage in the Culture or something. You know what I'm saying? Because I just feel like millennials are really not being married anymore. You know what I mean? Look, y'all take a look at this post. Look at this post. It says, and it's on your screen. It says, the average man, keyword average, spends an extra $15,000 per year when he's in a relationship, paying for dates, helping out with bills, and funding a woman's maintenance. So when we're talking about black marriage, like I went to college, I started businesses. I was able, by the time you and I started dating, I had already bought my first two houses. I was able to take you on nice dates. Not all of them were expensive, but ultimately nice dates. I was able to basically, when it was time for us to move in together, I said, babe, pack your stuff, come to my home. And that's how I knew I was serious. You know what I'm saying? So let's just kind of start off with that part. You feel me? The average dude may not be able to bust down 15 grand on dates, especially in this economy with a millennial marriage. You know what I'm saying? Where he's like, I got it and I'm ready to take care of her. So is marriage still realistic for the culture?
I think marriage is realistic for the culture still, of course. Love conquers all. I believe that. But I feel like social media and other people's lives or the way people
Mm,
portray their life to be is what stagnates that part of millennial love and marriage because they're always a comparison to what this couple is doing or that couple is doing. You know what I mean? Like people don't. And then another thing is honestly money management. Like you may not be the richest dude, but do you have good money management skills? You might not be the richest woman, but do you have good money management skills? Do you know, today is August, top of August 2025. Next year, I want to at least go on two vacations out of the country,
but
not just
okay,
to Mexico. So you
but
got to start planning and knowing like I have to cut back on certain things. Maybe I can't go clubbing and get a bottle or two or three with the homies every single weekend because I have a goal for myself and experience that I want and I want to experience with this person. Maybe that's how your life has to be set up in order to be able to do that.
But what I'm saying is like, okay, let's go back to my grandma. Nana been to the Bahamas. What am I, 33? Nana was in the Bahamas 28 years ago.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, you know what I mean? They not hopping on flights and leaving their feelings. So does social media say that in order to have a successful millennial marriage that we have to hop on planes, we have to, you know what I'm saying, be on the island with sand running in between our toes? And like I feel like personally that creates a mental stigma, a negative mental connotation, if you will, on the black man and his role because he's responsible essentially for paying for all of that. Like if he there go to 15 grand right there. If he can't come out the pocket and say, all right, baby, I'm taking you to, Jamaica. Boom, I got, 2,000 for the flights. I got another 2,800 for the room. I got another, well, let's just say it's all inclusive. So boom, boom, your food and your beverages is included there. I got the money for the private cab to get us, from the airport to there and money for the gifts. By the time I'm done, I'm 8 bands in. You know what I mean? And I still got to satisfy our life at the house. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm
Right.
saying is
Get back, real life still exists.
right. So in millennial marriage, you know what I mean? Like, is it realistic to say I want that, but I want to do it another way? Like, I can't afford to keep you Instagram happy. Like, I need our love to be different than what it is you see. Is that like realism, or is that deducing what you want as a female? Like, what if I couldn't take you on those nice trips?
Well, honestly, I wouldn't feel any kind of way because I feel like before we got together, like I was traveling to other countries and like enjoying myself. Like I think we traveled a lot last year, and I'm like, okay, we're going on all these trips, babe. Let me do this trip, and I
Mm-hmm.
did. I paid for one of the trips we went on because to me, I'm like, my husband's doing so much, like I want to give that back, but I feel like that's in an understanding on the same page relationship where it's like a give and take. Like just like you care for me, you shower me, like I want you to feel cared for, showered as well. And
But
I want to
can the
experience those
average
things with you.
person do that without there being extravagant emotions involved? Meaning, like right now,
Like
some
just
of our
dating.
no, or marriage, like because basically what we're saying here is that we're not seeing as many marriages in our culture in the millennial era than what we saw in the Generation X and baby boomers, right? So that would be like our parents and our grandparents,
Okay.
right? But Instagram, the culture is influencing, you know, dating, right? So it basically says, hey, like I just said, we need to go to Jamaica because that's what the Instagram posts are. I need to be in the Maldives. I need to be down in Houston for the summer, Atlanta, Miami. I need to be on a boat. Everybody on a boat twerking right now. Like I got to be on the boat. You know what I mean? Now I ain't gonna hold you. I looked up the boat because I was like, I'm gonna rent a boat. You know what I'm saying? But that boat was $2,000. So I don't know how they on the boat. I mean, it must be $200 a person to get on that boat. That's probably why it's 10, 15 of them shaking and doing what they do. But what
If
if
that's what
I'm
you want
not
to do with
able to
your
do that?
friends, then do that. Maybe you could save 200 from your paycheck or however you get your money, whether you're, an independent, you know,
So
maybe
you're saying that
you
they still need to meet that status?
yeah, in a way you do. Whether you're dating or whether you're in a marriage. If
Y'all heard
if
it.
that's the life that you want though. You have some people who are comfortable staying at home, Netflixing and chilling in their marriage and popping popcorn, making snacks and desserts and being completely happy with that. That's fine. But some people also would like to experience the world with their spouse,
So
with
if
their
our
partner.
marriage, we've been married 4 years, we're coming up on 4 years. Or realistically, we just crossed 4 years. But
I'm like, "Oh, fuck."
no, we coming up on four. See, it'd be confusing you because we got married in February, but we had the public wedding in October. So technically, we already crossed 4 years, but like we make
Right.
October our big little woo out
Okay,
because
yeah.
that was the wedding. All right. Well, anyway, so we just crossed 4 years. What if our relationship changed and I was like, I can't fly you around the world no more? Like, so we to go to the park, chill, Netflix, brownies that we bake type of couple. Like, would you be cool with that?
I would.
Why?
Because I'm happy like with you. Like I enjoy sitting in the house watching movies with you, putting my cold feet on you, eating snacks and doing that. Like
But what if I'd have came with that energy in the beginning though, before we was married?
again, that would have been okay. Can I say that I would have stopped traveling if that just wasn't your thing? No, but I would be okay with just staying in with you.
So you're basically saying like I wouldn't have been required to foot the bill. You would have just been like, all right, I'm gonna save my checks
Yes.
and go where I want to go,
Yes.
and that would be my private time.
Yes.
Okay, so let's
So
go here.
wait, do you remember when we first were dating and I went on a trip with my girlfriends
Right,
and you did not want me to go? You were like, "No, stay with me." Like hiding my passport and all that stuff, like because you really wanted me to stay.
right.
But I still went. Like it was okay. You was like, obviously we talking on the phone every day, FaceTiming because you were ready for me to come back, essentially home. But yeah, like
But I feel like that was different because like we were so early in the dating phase that we were still like, oh, the puppy love, the please don't leave me. Come on, let's just cuddle up all day and watch SVU and just chill and just do what we do. But I feel like honestly, if I was coming with that energy in the beginning, I mean, we have history, so we're a little bit different. But I just feel like I don't know if you would have been cool with that. Like, yeah, no, I'm sorry, no trips, no, I can't afford it. This is what dating looks like for me. It looks like a couple of restaurants here and there, and more quality time than postable events. And I just feel like that's what's wrong with the culture. Like everything is postable. I'm on the boat, let's post it. I'm in Jamaica with my dude, let's post it. I'm at the pool where there's a bar in the pool, let's post it. I'm walking up, the street, like let's do a video. Like there's nothing that's like sacred and private in the culture no more. And I feel like now people are just dating for social influence.
I think social media does kind of have a stronghold on some people. Like I personally feel like you are the poster in the relationship.
Absolutely.
And I'm not really a poster like that.
Yeah.
I really don't post.
But
I
I'm
need
more social just to be social.
turn it up because, I be missing out on my real fine moments.
God.
But
I just feel like I'm more of a poster just to be social. Like I don't have to post. And a lot of the times when we're in our private era, I really don't post.
That's not really you or what you do. Like you say I really don't have to, but you clearly do have to because that's what you do.
But what I'm saying is I do it because I want to. Like, but in our private era, would you say that our whole relationship is on social media?
No, in the beginning.
Exactly.
For neither one of us.
Right.
But when you wanted it to be public, it was absolutely public.
But see, I'm not talking about public. Our relationship is very much so public. I'm talking about I'm not posting because I'm trying to compare our life to what's cracking socially. Like I don't have to be okay. What month are we? Boom, 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 boom. All right, boom, August. I don't have to be at the lake on a jet ski because every social media tells me that I should be at the lake on a jet ski. Like I'm here recording this podcast with you. You get what I'm saying? Like
we also have like provision and vision and goals though that come into our actual life. So it's like I feel like we're speaking to people who really don't have no direction or no endpoint of what they want for their life. Like we know where we're going and where we're working towards and what your goals are, educationally, what mine are educationally, where we're going the next 6 months, the next year, the next 2 years. You know what I mean? Like we kind of have a plan set up already and we kind of know like, okay, this year we definitely like stopped, a lot of the vacations this year because we did so much last year. That was our choice together to say, hey babe, this year we gotta like lock it down. Like we did a lot of traveling last year. We probably hit like 4 or 5 maybe different countries. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, this year we're gonna focus on this. I'm starting something, you're changing career goals. Let's focus on this right here. Get the children settled. Like we have a vision and a focus. So it's like so much more than what social media brings us. It's like we kind of, in a sense, not to sound like that, but kind of been there, done that. And when we're ready to get back to it, we absolutely will.
You said something that really struck me. You said that we have goals and visions. And I feel like in today's dating era, a lot of people don't have goals and visions. You know what I'm saying? Like that's when, I'm gonna keep it 100. Like that's when I knew, regardless of our history, that like that you were for me and that I wanted to be with you. It is when is when we were able to align visions and goals. You know what I'm saying? Like I was watching something the other day. It was educational actually, and the gentleman that was talking, he said, when I'm in my dating era, like I already know if I want to be with you because when I talk to you, your vocabulary, your verbiage immediately aligns with God. And that's my mission. You know what I'm saying? So my mission is God. When I'm talking to you, your mission is God. But I still have to identify if we're walking down the same path. In other words, if you come out and you're not speaking his language, then I already know, as beautiful as you are, you're not for me. And so like for me, I knew that I wanted to be with you and that, I wanted to lock you down, when what you were saying aligned with where I knew that God was taking me. You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh my God, you're so extra right now. Like, but no, for real. Like I knew like, okay, boom. Babe, do you think, what do you see yourself doing educationally? Well, babe, I see myself doing this, if God be willing. Okay, well, I believe in that. Oh, you do? Yeah, because I see myself educationally doing this, and this. And the whole time I'm listening to you talk, I'm like, boom, that's a goal that we can lock down together. You know what I'm saying? Okay, well, I already own this house right here, but this ain't the final city I want to live in. Or, babe, I see myself, da-da-da. And you said something to me, and it stuck with me forever. You said, I said, babe, would you move out of the state with me? Would you move out of the country with me? Like, do you have to live here in Los Angeles? Do you got to do blah, blah, blah? And you was like, my happiness is wherever yours is. And, like, that hit me and I'm like, whoa, like at the point that a person is no longer materialistic and is basically saying, I want to be with you. Our goals align, our spirits align. We're both faith believers. We're both in church. Like, God is the center of our marriage. Like, we're moving forward. Like, that's when I knew this was for me. At what point in time did you know, as a young millennial, you pop in, you was bartending at the time, like, you know what I mean? You was in the social world. Like, you was way more so into the social world than me. Like, I was preaching and in the pulpit and doing my thing. Like, you was more so like in the scene, if you will. How did you know, like, I want to marry him?
When I saw myself like in your world and comfortable. So when I knew like
Mm,
I could, in a sense, take a step back from what I was doing to support you and be and wanted to be, you know what I mean, there with you. Like you had asked me something one day, like, can you see yourself in this life? Like,
mm-hmm.
and I'm like, yeah, I could. But that kind of stems from 15, 16 years,
Right, right, right.
before knowing that, you were a young preacher. And I know this was, a part of your life. And, you were, always spiritually led, and you had this gift and, this grace on you. And it was something that, it was a God given, in a sense, calling and talent for you. And it was like, okay, can you see yourself there? Is that what you want for yourself? And when we reconnected and we started dating again, it was like it was like kind of ignited something in me, because honestly, I was still, a Christian and spiritual, but very much so far from the church every
Far
Sunday.
removed, right, right,
Far removed. But, I wanted to be that support to you. I wanted to, be that lady on your arm who you wanted to be there, and who I could say, okay, this is also where I want to be. Like, I knew that you were, proud to have me, and you felt like, okay, yes, this is who and what I want. But for me, when I knew like, okay, this is what I want to stand with him, you know what I mean? Like, that's when I knew like, okay, he's for me. And then other things as well, like the way that you carried yourself, the relationship that you have with the children, your heart is so big. But that's other things, but yeah, that's when I
I
knew.
mean, keep going, because like I want to hear, and I think the people need to hear, like, what else?
I mean, you had a business mind, you, in a sense, I feel like your heart was so big at times where I had to say, hey, you're doing a bit much, because that's not you don't have to take that on for the next person who's
Right,
going through whatever it is. Like, I understand you got a big heart, you want everybody to thrive, and you pro black, but some black people gotta bump their head and wipe their own knees off and learn their
right,
own lessons,
right.
so really, outside of, like, you had a big heart, you were business minded, you had the same goals that I had, that other men that I had either encountered or had dated weren't even talking about, and you were where like I was getting to or wanted to be. So I'm like, this is alignment for me. On top of the way that you treated me and respected me, and the way that you showed me like, hey, this is not just a 1-2 night thing. This is you
Right.
giving me as a man like permanency. Things that my grandmother said. You look for this in a man. You want to see a man do X, Y, and Z. So
You
you
know
gave
what?
me
And,
that.
and and I think that that is so scary that like our culture is going to be grandparents, because do we have, like, in black marriage, right? Like, do we have like that level of wisdom to say this is what you look for?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because like, for example, me, I knew immediately, like, oh wow, like the way that she submits to me, the way that she looks at me, the way that she trusts me, the way that she follows me, the way that she motivates me, right? And I think that a lot of the times women in our culture and in our generation, they miss the motivating part.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you gotta, like, you ever hear, and I know you've heard this term, but I'm gonna say it, pillow talk. Pillow talk is so important, because you can either make or break your man in pillow talk.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when that man is laying down on the bed and he's thinking to himself, did I win today? Like, did I go out there and give August the 7th the absolute best that I got? You know what I'm saying? Like, did I come with it today? You know what I'm saying? And he looks over at his woman, babe, like, what's going on? And she says, yeah, babe, you did awesome. Like, we are so appreciative of you. We're proud of you. Like, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you're gonna do better tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? At that point, it's like, dude, he gonna go out there and knock down 10 1,000 of whatever it is that he need because of that motivation, that pillow talk, that support that's coming from his woman. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna push him into his masculine era. You know what I mean? We always talk about soft girl era, masculine era. That's gonna push him into that era. And that's something that you do for me. Like you motivate me to the point where I'm like, I'm just gonna go to another college. So what? You know what I'm saying? And like sometimes you got to tell me, like, babe, you go to 2 different colleges right now. Like you cannot. You don't even have the time to go to another one. But that level of motivation is like, it makes a man feel like I could go and build a house right now.
You could do it all. Yeah.
I just feel like in our culture, we're missing that.
Like I do give you that because the things that you do every day, I'm like, this man, Lord, I pray, let me just cover him because he do so much in a day. And I'm like, is it my fault? Because I feel like I support everything that you say, babe. I want to do this. Okay, babe, what you got to do? Even when you were just, can I do this? And they gonna make me do. I said no. Submit every single transcript that you have.
Right.
Because so I feel like I do support you and I push you in that way because I believe in everything that you say that you want to do. I really do. And even if I'm scared for you or I may have a doubt, I'll never let you know that because I do. I believe everything that you can do. And I think that's important. And I think people get so caught up on where can you take me? What can you do for me? Instead of really understanding that it's more so of the support and like you said, the motivation and, the positive energy that you could give somebody or just the believing in what somebody's dreams are, aspirations are, goals are, or just even like starting this podcast. Like, if you think I should do, let's do it. You know what I mean? Like, go for it. And I think people miss those simple things that make and break relationships, and they don't see how important that they are.
Yeah.
Because those are the things that really root your relationship.
And I 100% agree. Like, I just feel like in our culture, we're missing that. You know what I mean? Like, especially on like, we keep going back to social media because that's literally what runs our relationship. But just period, like, it's more so what the man is not doing, what the man is not developing. Oh, you whack. You can't pay for this. You can't buy that. You can't build this. You can't do this. You can't da. You can't. And it's just like, I think that a lot of times in our culture, we don't realize that, you know what I mean? What you say becomes what I am. You know what I mean? Bible says it like this: so as a man thinketh, so is he. You know what I mean? So if I think Pastor Cotton, God rest her soul, I miss her so much, but she would be like, baby, if you're not happy, you better think yourself happy. And I remember when I was a kid, I would be like, how do I think myself happy? Until I became grown and I was in that position where I needed to act like I was happy for the day to get through the day, So I just feel like, Bible also says there's power of life and death in the tongue. So if you constantly in your marriage or in your relationship speak evil, this ain't working, that ain't working, this is whack, that is whack, you don't do this, you don't do that, you're not this, you're not that. Like, you are literally destroying whatever you have or whatever you're trying to build. Because that man, I'm talking about me now, like, I'm going to get into a place, if you constantly tearing me down, I'm going to get into a place where I'm just like, all right, bro, well, I'm not even going to attempt anymore because I'm so lost in being torn down, I don't even know how to come back to rebuild. You know what I mean? I was talking to somebody the other day, and like, I literally compared men to dogs, and they got mad, but it is what it is, right? Like, men are like little doggies, right? Like, if you come in the house every day and you rub that dog, right, and you feed that dog, and you tickle that dog a little bit, that dog will bite through flesh if somebody tries to lift their hand at you. You know what I'm saying? But if you come in every day and you kick that dog with your foot, you don't want to be bothered with that dog. Like, that dog is going to be so depressed and so far separated from you. You know what I mean? That by the time you start trying to show it love and attention, it's damaged, battered, the relationship is over. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like that's what goes on in our culture, and we really need to like resolve that. I can hear the audience now. They're gonna be like, did he just compare us to dogs? I did. Like, we really need to resolve like what we say and how we say it. So how important is building your man up to you? Like, if you had to put it on a scale of 1 to 10, like, where is speaking positivity at on your scale?
I'm gonna have to say a 10. Do I?
Well, 10 being the least, 1 being the most important. Like, where is speaking positivity at?
Oh, definitely a 1. It's like at the top of the list because I know, like, if you go back to the term, the man is the head, but the woman is the neck. How can your man trust you
Mm.
to be his number one or his number two? Because he's one, you're going to be the number two. If you don't support him, if you don't lift him up, if he can't trust you with his vulnerabilities, if he can't
Mm.
openly be
Right.
himself with you, even in those rumors, whether he feel like, that NIGGA today, or whether he feel like, am I doing enough today?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like you have to allow your man a space to be vulnerable with you, to be honest with you, whether he has a high day or a low day. You know what I mean? Like, I have days, I see days when you come in the house and you know, excited, happy, on the phone talking, and some days you come in real quiet, real dry. I'm like, what's going on? How was your day? Because I know something has shifted your energy in some type of way throughout the day. What happened?
Right.
And usually we might talk about it on your way home until you get into the house, but I can always tell him, like, there's something more than just this. So what is it? And
Mm-hmm.
eventually you'll say, okay, babe, what do you think about X, Y, and Z? Or I feel
Right.
like X, Y, and Z. And I listen to you and I can hear your tone and I can understand, like, this is not the time to be critical. This is the time to be an ear, because sometimes you just need to get it out. I know I'm like that too. Sometimes I just need to get it out. I may
Right.
not need like the direction. And sometimes I feel like, it's easier for a man to push emotion to the side and get straight to business. But obviously I'm the other way. Like, I do need a little soft pet first and then, okay, give it to me straight. You know what I mean? So yeah.
You know what? You said something just now that I don't think I've ever really heard in an analogy, and it was honestly like brilliant to me, which was you said the man is the head, but the woman is the neck. And like I'm of course a PhD student, so everything is very analytical to me. I've learned in school to break down words and analyze themes and notice, what's being said. And when you said that, it just made me think of a body with no neck. And I'm like, how could the man have vision? How could he see? You know what I'm saying? If the neck is not strong enough to hold up the head so that way the head can maneuver.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so I think that in black marriage, especially millennial marriage, we need to stop looking for the big booty baddies, and we need to stop looking for the ones with, you know what I mean, the Coca-Cola body frame and the BBL and the big breast and all of these physical features. And we need to start asking ourselves, does this woman have the strength to uphold me? Like, my vision is big. You know what I mean? And I need somebody to connect to me that has the ability to hold my head up when it gets hurt, when it starts to hurt. You know what I'm saying? Can this person maintain my craziness? Like, like you said, some days I come in the house and I'm overly excited. Other days I come in the house and I'm low in the dirt. You know what I mean? Is my neck tired too? Or, you know what I'm saying? Do you have the strength to be able to say, all right, babe, it's cool. Let me run your bath water. Let me get you something to eat, and then you come tell me about the day. Let's figure out how to make tomorrow a better day. You know what I mean? But I just feel like sometimes, and in the culture, what we're seeing now is I don't have the capacity to deal with what you're dealing with. Like, you got to deal with stuff on your own. You know what I'm saying? And then come to me when you're ready to get
Yeah.
back to the turn up, and that's dangerous.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I will say, like, sometimes, like, I've had to actually, like, put myself or, like, my emotionalism or how I felt. Maybe I didn't have the best day, to the side, because I see that, okay, my husband needs a little more today. He
Mm.
needs more than just cook food and, a clean house, So I think you have to know your person and be able to read between what's not being said
Okay.
at times, because a person will tell you a lot by not saying anything if you just pay attention.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've learned that over these last few years, and I'm still learning that, because sometimes I don't have, I can't, I'm not saying I'm just a perfect stepper wife, because I'm
Right.
not,
Right.
but,
Right.
at times that I do have to say, okay, Cashmere, is what you're feeling and what you're going through that important? Or can you be supportive right now in this moment? Because everything is going to pass, but right now he just needs some attention. He just needs your ear. Can you put your phone down and look him in the eyes and listen to what he's saying? Just
Yeah.
it's those small things that honestly build and sometimes diminish relationships. And I feel like I've become way aware and cognitive of those things.
And I feel like that's important. Like, I know as a man, like, a lot of the times we're like, It's the first again. Rent due, lights due, gas due, water due. Babe needs her nails done, hair done, lashes done, makeup. Son and kids need this, this, to this. And by the time you start adding it up, it's almost like them movies where the numbers just start going in people's head, and you're like, yo, like that's easily a $8,000-9,000 day for our household. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, how am I about to do this? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the times just being understood within the union makes me say, all right, I did it. They're happy. Let's move on. It's going to come back. You know what I mean? And I think that that is so important in young black marriages because honestly, I don't feel like the culture, and when I say the culture, I'm not talking about our culture. I'm talking about just the overall culture. I just don't feel like the culture really wants to see black unity.
I don't either. But I've always felt like black unity is so powerful. And if
It's
more
crazy
people would
powerful.
be more unified instead of being against each other or trying to get what the next person got and really focus on themselves or feed into what they have, like you could really have something amazing and great. But I feel like people are so used to what's happened, the now, and not focused on the future, that you get lost in the wave of whatever is going on right now instead of focused on what you want your wave to be and the motivation and the move that you can make, you know what I mean, to set the tone for your family, your future. Like, I want a legacy. I don't know anybody who just wants to go out being, oh, she was a baddie. Like, excuse
Like
me?
what? Like what does that mean? Like what?
Like what? Like, okay,
So she had
like
a fat butt. Like what? So what does she do in life? Who does she connect with? Where's her grandkids? Like, does she got any children? Like, where's her legacy? What did she build? You know what I mean? Like, and some people may say, okay, kids are not for me. Cool deal. What did you establish? Who did you touch during your time on earth? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we are having a powerful conversation on relationships. It's getting crazy in here. Like, we're really enjoying this conversation. We hope y'all are learning something from a couple that's years locked in and locked down. You know what I'm saying? So check out this commercial. We'll be right back. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Isaiah, and I'm so excited to announce the Psych brand official launch. You're looking at the flyer right now, and it's so easy to cop one of these shirts. All you have to do is head over to our Instagram, exclusively Unfiltered. DM us and let us know that you want one of these shirts. You gotta have it. Look at it. You're literally pronouncing your future. You're literally letting us know that you're not dealing with grief, loss, sickness, disease, defeat, depression, anxiety, or homelessness. Death and generational curses are over. You got to proclaim your future with one of these shirts. We got them in all sizes. Y'all hit us up on exclusively Unfiltered on IG. Peace. Yo, y'all, welcome back. You know what I mean? And we're about to jump right back into the conversation. We're talking about black marriage. Y'all heard what we think about the culture. Y'all heard what we think about, the status of relationships and the progressivity of black marriages right now and what the impact on our culture is. But now let's talk about the ugly stuff, like the ups and the downs of marriage. Like, so how do you process? I mean, because let's just keep it 100. Like, we don't like each other every day. We love each other every day, but I don't think I really like you. Not every single day. There are some days where I'm like, yo, you take the car, take the keys, take the children, and I don't even want to know where y'all going. Just go. And I know you feel the same way. Like, yo, get in the car, drive off. Don't even call me today. Like, just tap in, let me know that you're still alive. And I'm going to need today to be my day. You know what I'm saying? So, how do you get through those rough moments without throwing in the towel and just saying, yeah, I want to go back to being a single woman? And let me tell you why I asked. Going back to our conversations on the culture, Instagram teaches us, TikTok teaches us that there are 1,000 beautiful women out there for every dude, or there are 1,000 muscular, beautiful dudes to every woman. So realistically, you don't have to put up with my junk. You can leave. You know what I'm saying? Because you're beautiful. You can leave and go out here and find you a buff, successful doctor, date him, and be just possibly just as happy. So what keeps you locked in? Like, how do you get over those moments?
well, for one, like knowing that you're my person, for
Okay.
one. So when I say that, I mean like I don't feel, I've never felt like a connection that the connection we have with like anyone ever.
Mm.
It's never been like that in depth. It's never been that in sync. It's never been, me to honest, if I'm being honest, like me to say, okay, I submit to that. Like, because somebody's got to give. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somebody's got to, like, if we going at it, like, all right, we almost there.
Right.
Somebody's got to be able to say,
Somebody got to bow out.
exactly. Somebody's
Yeah.
got to
You got to
bow
be the
out.
little man.
And I'm fine with being that graceful bow out person in our relationship. And
Yeah.
with any other person, I'm like, make me,
Yeah.
move me, try me.
Right. Right.
Like,
Right.
so I feel like when I realized that, I'm like, okay, when things got, really hard and we are at the point to, and it's a learning and growing process. It doesn't just happen like, I do, we kiss and everything's just, we figured out and
Beautiful all the
magical.
rest of
Yeah,
the
like
days. Like,
that's not the case. But I feel like what gets me through that is honestly knowing that this is what I want and where I want to be. So it's like, even if I do have to take a break or go take a drive or go randomly go get my nails and feet done or go get that massage or go shopping or whatever my outlet is, like,
yeah.
I know that I'm still coming back home and I'm gonna call my husband and say, babe, have you eaten? Do you want me to cook? Do you want me to pick something up? What's going on? Like, I still have to like check back in with home. Like, that's always
Yeah.
my end point. So even if I'm on 10,000, by the time I get down to 100, I'm like, it's been an hour or two. I'm calculating stuff and I'm saying, okay, let me check back in and
Yeah.
see what's going on. So how I navigate that is really honestly remembering what it is that I want long term. That's what keeps me, grounded and centered and not, acting out irrational and just doing stupid stuff or just, yelling and screaming or
Yeah.
whatever the case. Like, that's what does it.
I can honestly say, like, what does it for me, like, you started off talking about the little man. Like, I ain't never stopped and said, like, you gonna apologize to me? You know what I mean? Like, that is like a no-go. I'm the type of person to where you could, like, not talk to me for the rest of your life and I would be like, it's just as fine. You know what I'm saying? So I know how to take the little road with you where, like, you're walking through the house and you mad and I know you didn't say something that, has really aggravated me or ticked me off and I'm like, bro, you just want to say sorry so we can move past this moment. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just say what I need you to say so we can move past, because I'm getting hungry and I know I'm not going to eat until you say what I want you to say so we can move past this moment. So for me, like, being able to open up and just kind of initiate that moment of conversation where I'm like, all right, bro, enough is enough. Like, say I'm sorry, you hurt my feelings. Just, having that moment is like, all right, or, being in the bed, like when we're in the bed and we just both like laying there, it's time to go to sleep. We're just at a point in our marriage where it's impossible for one of us to have a good night's sleep if we're both upset because we're not going to cuddle. We're not going to want to touch each other. We're just like, whatever. So, me initiating that cuddle where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna put my feet on her and see if she kicked me off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just to, have that level of connectivity to a person is me saying, I'm taking that lower road today. You know what I'm saying? Um, I'm reminded like of my grandparents again, you know what I mean? Because that's like really what I desire to model my marriage after. And I remember like, night and day they would start arguing. Typical. I mean, my mom is 51, so that means they've been married 51 years. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, or I think 52 years, with that being said, like I will watch them argue and like dad didn't get in the car and drive off. None of them get in the car and drive off. Like where if the argument started downstairs, then dad go upstairs. Like if the argument started upstairs, then like Nana may go downstairs. You know what I mean? And they're mad in separate aspects of the house.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it was implied that you ain't going nowhere, neither am I, and give us about an hour, we gonna come downstairs and we're back, as a family. Decisions ain't gonna be made while we like this, you know what I mean? And I think that is important. I think, if we can go, psychologically for a second, fair fighting is essential, especially if you want a lasting marriage. You understand what I'm saying?
I agree.
Like if you say it, and I think I've messed up in this field, you know what I'm saying? But if you say it, you better darn sure make certain that you're gonna stand on it. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like I can express how I'm feeling to you without completely shattering and demeaning you. I think that that's a difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when you're saying like, let's throw something out there. Like I could say, Cashmere, you're really getting on my nerves today. Without saying, Cashmere, like everything you do just gets on my doggone nerves. Like you could never do nothing right. Well, that statement might shatter you and rip you in a way that I didn't really mean. Like I'm just trying to say that you're getting on my nerves right now. You know what I'm saying? Like as opposed to nothing that you do is right. And I think that a lot of the times the culture and people, we tend to argue and we're so focused on winning that argument that we're not realizing that we're also severing our relationship. You know what I mean? So how do you fight fair? Because we both got mouths. Like our mouths it's crazy at times. Absolutely. So how do you make sure like I'm gonna get my point across without insulting my man as my man? Like how do you do that?
One of the things that I do is I don't call you out of your name.
Okay.
That's one thing
Thank you.
that I do. Like,
Appreciate
I
that.
don't call you out of your name. Like no matter how mad I am or what point I'm trying to make, like I never like call you out of your name. That's one thing that I make certain that I don't do, because I would never want to disrespect you as my man in that way. If that makes sense. Like to me, that's very important. Like the way you speak, I could want to burn you at the stake, but I'm not gonna, call you out of your name. I feel like there's, like you said, there's some things that are irreversible, and that the damage can be very severe. So if you run around calling your man a bunch of sorry SOBs and all of that stuff, it's like I feel like he gonna always look at you away.
Facts.
So that's one thing that I don't do. Another way I fight fair is I had to learn to take accountability.
Major. Okay.
Because there was a lot of times where I could have been wrong, but I'd be like, oh, well, you hurt my feelings, so too bad. Like, no accountability for my part in it. So that's something I have learned over these few years is you have to be accountable, Cashmere, because you had a part in it. Like, you're not out of the situation. Like, it's y'all. So if it's you two and y'all into it, like, you had to do something to aid where you are right now, whether that's positive or negative.
Yeah.
What did you do? And don't say I did it because know accountability.
Right. So and that's major.
That's like something that
I feel like accountability is hard. It's hard because it requires you to be objective when you're emotional.
Very. Exactly.
That's hard. You know what I'm saying?
Hard. Like I said, that's something I had to do. Even still, sometimes I still have to go back and say, okay, you addressed this, but you need to go back and readdress it because where you came from was you were still pointing fingers and you still have fingers pointing back at you. Like you have to.
So let me ask you this. How important to you, because we're talking about our marriage, but we're like generalizing it for our audience, right? But how important is time to you? And I'm going to tell you why. Time is really important to me. Bible says it like this. I'm quoting the word today. But the Bible says it's biblical.
It's centered. Yeah, it's centered in the Bible, so it makes sense.
So the Bible says all things are lawful, but not expedient, meaning everything is going to come, but it shouldn't come fast. I like my apologies quick, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like, for example, if we get into it at 8 o'clock in the morning, I think I need to be addressed before the afternoon, evening time transition, because I feel like the more time that festers in a marriage, because we live in the same house, it's not like, you go to your apartment, I go to my apartment, and we link up tomorrow and say, babe, let's talk about this. You know what I mean? Now, but I do think that you need time to reflect. But I think that when too much time comes in, then, let me sound like my grandparents for a little bit. Then the devil comes in, and now that devil start talking, and how important are you, and who's she talking to, and phone is ringing, and you texting, and I'm texting, and it's like, how can you engage in another convo when this is going on over here? But I do think that, again, you need time to review and to reflect and to think. Okay, what did I say? How did I say it? Let me be objective. Let me get out of my emotions. What was going on here? Like, so how important is time to you in addressing certain things within the context of relationship?
Well, now time is important. I want to address it immediately because I didn't used to do that. I
Okay.
used to let stuff fester. I'm a fight or flight. So if like if I'm mad, you're mad, and I know I'm about to scream and go be extra emotional, I'm like, let me just be quiet. Like I just need time. And you're like, I cannot believe you're quiet. You
Right,
need to say
right,
something
right,
now. Say
right,
something now. So
right.
it's kind of made me, move faster with processing my emotion and my part in, arguments or disagreements with you because I know like, okay, he's gonna want this to be like nipped in the bud quickly. He's not gonna let this fester. Lunch is not gonna come and he's just gonna say, yeah, babe, so I mean, what do you want to eat for lunch? Like, no,
Correct. I can't move
he's
on.
gonna be stuck on it. So it's like fix it now. But I also can say, like, even with me like apologizing quickly and fixing it now, doesn't mean that you're always gonna be receptive to that.
Hmm.
Because you may still be offended or may still be I'm mad at you. Like my attitude ain't gone yet.
But I appreciate the fact that you addressed it. You know what I mean? So, like you said, we're going to still have to come back to it and we're going to have to say whatever it is that we need to say. But I appreciate the fact that it was addressed because for me, you know what I mean? Especially being young and black in marriage, for me, it's like she cared enough to not continue her day without pausing to address this moment. You know what I mean? It bothers me. Like, when, you know what I'm saying, like you would have back in the day, like in our early era of marriage, like when you would be like, yeah, girl, what you doing today? Like, let me talk to you real quick. Girl, I'm finna go get my nails done, I'm finna go get my hair done, I'm finna go get my feet done. Yeah, I'm just, yeah, I'm probably gonna cook for Isaiah a little later. Like, we gonna eat some chicken, we gonna do, and I'm sitting in the room and like fire is coming from my feet. Like, I swear to God, like I'm sitting there like, I know. And then the devil started talking to me like, Isaiah, this woman is on the phone bill that you just paid $500 for, talking to her homegirl and ain't apologized to you yet. You need to cut that phone off. Like, and I'm like, that is so toxic. And it's literally like the angel and the devil, like, cut that phone off. Leave it alone. Cut that phone off. No. Cut that phone off. Leave it alone. Like, and I'm sitting here toggling in the AT&T app, like, bro, I can suspend it right now, the whole call to drop. I swear to God. Like,
That is nasty.
this easy work. But I really appreciate it because it shows me like, wow, she cares enough to not move on with her day without addressing the situation first. Now, I don't want to say like I'm super toxic. Like I used the phone example and I really have felt like that. But like if you have a phone call in between talking to me, like I'm not just sitting there like, because sometimes you need that shift to be able to come back to and say, all right, let me focus on what happened. But I do think time is very important. I think that for those people that are out there dating or you're married and you're sitting there like, yo, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is this not working? I think that it's important to ask yourself, like, am I putting too much time in between strife?
Yeah. And
You know what I'm
I'll
saying?
say this, something that I used to, do when I was younger, not necessarily in relationships, but in all things with friendships and with like just things that would upset me, rather, regardless if it was, relationship, intimate relationship, family, whatever.
Hmm.
If it's not going to matter in 5 years,
That's major.
don't spend more than 5 minutes on it.
That's
And
major.
I'm sure you've heard that before. I'm sure y'all have heard that before. But that's something that I have brought back into my, thought process when I get upset about things and when things like really affect me or I get overly emotional or even things that may, hurt my feelings. I always have to go there like, okay, Kashmir, are you being dramatic? Because, you're a drama queen. You can
Hmm.
be, you know what I mean? I could say that. So it's like, is this going to matter in 5 years? How is this going to affect your marriage and your communication in your marriage?
Yeah.
How is this going to, affect your children? How is it going to affect you? Is it going to be that major of a thing to where it's going to matter in 5 years?
One piece that we didn't touch on that I really want to touch on that you just said is communication.
Mm-hmm.
Two words: communication and comprehension
Mm.
are essential in a marriage because we just got done talking about time and the ugliness and being able to fight and still be in love. But in all of that, you have to be able to communicate to me effectively, peacefully, if you need a moment. Babe, I'm going to address what you got going on, but I'm going to need a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to tell your partner, like, yo, you're expecting an apology within the first 2 hours, but I'm gonna need a minute. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Like,
just not there yet.
I ain't there yet, but you on my mind though. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then at the same time, I need comprehension. What is my partner trying to tell me? And am I in a place where like I can understand that? Because I feel like a lot of the times, especially in the culture, we want to be understood, but we don't want to understand. You know what I'm saying?
That's heavy.
We want to be understood, but we don't want to understand because we want things our way.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's like, no, you get what I'm trying to say. Well, do you understand what I'm trying to say?
And does what I say matter to you? Because you can really like diminish somebody's like feelings by honestly doing that.
Facts.
And I think that's something that I've grown to be better at, because I was like a me type of person. I can't say like, because the way that you would put me first and shower me and all these things, I'm like, what are you talking about? You like me,
Yeah.
like, so I
Yeah.
had to come back and say, hold on, Cashmere, you are in a marriage. This is a two-way street.
Right.
This is another person who was a whole nother person with feelings.
Correct.
It's not all about you.
Yeah.
And it's not always going to be about you. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So although like you are like the face of the marriage, because you're different platforms and everything that you do, but like people don't see like you really like put me first and really everything in this relationship and marriage. So it allows me to be able to support you and love you, you know what I mean, the way that I do, because you do that. But I can't say like it didn't become almost like a normative thing, like that's what you're supposed to do because that's what you've always done. What do you mean you feel what?
Yeah.
So I had to step back and say, hold on, he's a person. He's a human. He has.
I think that's major because I do that to you as well. Meaning, like, sometimes I know, like, having served in the military, having been in drill, having, just, been in school for so long, like, a lot of the times I become so robotic. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, I'm going to get up, I'm going to go to work, I'm going to come home, I'm going to eat, I'm going to go to sleep. You know what I mean? And a lot of the times I'm like, you don't know that I love you? You can't tell? You know what I'm saying? And, like, sometimes I have to check myself where I'm like, how did you intentionally communicate and comprehend and show love today, not robotically? And that's something I literally just checked myself on earlier today. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where I'm like, Isaiah, no, you've been robotic. Like, you need to be intentional. And I think that's so important for the culture and for relationships and for marriages within the millennial generation. Like, don't become so robotic that everything that you're doing is just, I went to work, so I love you. I got up and cooked you dinner, so I loved you. I cuddled you last night, so I loved you. Like, what did you stop today? Look me in my face and say, I love you. Like, I love you more today than I did yesterday. Sometimes that level of communication is important, but I think like a lot of the times in relationships and in culture, we're so focused on driving our goals, you know what I'm saying? That we're just like, come on, partner, let's go. You know what I'm saying? And we're not,
pilot in a sense.
yeah, and we're not stopping to say, what do you comprehend about today? Did you hear me? Do you know what I needed today? Today I didn't need the provider. Today I just needed the lover. I don't need the lover today.
Yeah.
Today I need the communicator or the communicator, whatever you want to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need that person that can just talk me off the ledge. Today I don't need you to say nothing.
Right. I just need you to be my.
I just need you to comprehend. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I can honestly say I'm not there yet, but I'm learning that, where I'm like, Isaiah. Because again, my grandfather, he was a lot of things, but you learn things in phases and in elements of maturity. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so like now I'm learning. And when I say now, I'm talking about like last 2 days. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm literally learning, like, wait a minute. No, you didn't need to be the provider today. You're good at that. Today you needed to be the communicator. How are you feeling? Nope, you talked too much today. You needed to be the comprehender. Today you just need to sit there and listen and say, what's going on with you? Nope, you didn't need to be the comprehender today. Today you need to be affectionate. You just need to be the cuddler and the kisser all day. You know what I'm saying? So like, how do you know what different phases you need to be at different times, or are you even there yet?
I feel like it's a process. I'm definitely like learning that. Like I said, I had to check myself some months ago. Like I said, on thinking you were just supposed to know and be and do it all, because that's kind of where you've been. Well, hold on, this is a, a whole person too. Like he
Right.
needs to be continuously, like you said, how. important is it to pour into your man? It's number one on my list. But can I say like I wouldn't do things and say, oh, he should know that I love him and I care and I support him because I did X, Y, and Z. Like,
Yeah.
did you say it? Did you show him? It doesn't always have to be, monetary, because things with us are not monetary. You take very well good care of me, but it's not always monetary. Sometimes I don't need you to buy me something. Sometimes I just need you to rub my back or rub my feet. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like I'm still like learning that, and I'm
Yeah.
starting to be more intentional with my time, attention, and affection, because I do realize like you're motivating him to do so much, but where's the behind the scenes support? You can tell him all day, but where's that interpersonal support that a person needs?
Yeah.
If it was you, what would you want and need? And that's kind of how I
Wow.
have to, think. And that is the way that I think. Like, okay, today, regardless if I get tired, before I get tired, I'm gonna do this for my man. I'm gonna make sure that I rub him, even if it's just a head massage. Like, maybe it's not, sex, but maybe it's just that massage. You know what I mean? To show him, hey babe, I see you
Yeah.
and I want you to relax. Just even if it's 10, 15 minutes. I
Hmm.
want you to feel cared for. Clear your mind.
Yeah.
Just thrive in this moment so you can get up and do it again, because I know you're going to do it again.
That's amazing. Y'all listen, man, we have had a powerful conversation. We're going to have to continue this talk about black marriage, black relationships, and really how to sustain them, how to re-engage them. Like, how do you get from, the dating phase of I like you to I love you and you're my forever. Like, we really have had,
Thing that comes in between that.
and that's what I'm saying. Like, we really had great success in our story where we went from high school kids on the playground to you're my forever, and now we have this family and almost this grown little boy that's about to potentially, God please, in the next, give us 10 more years before he starts his family and we become Nana and Papa. You know what I mean? Like, so it's amazing. Y'all, drop it in the comments. Like, what is the status of black relationships? What's the status of black marriages? How do we sustain them? How have you sustained them? Or did you find what we said to be helpful? And if it was helpful, how was it helpful? Like, drop it in the comments right now. Yo, we're right back here, same spot next Thursday. Y'all make sure y'all meet us here because we talking real life unfiltered. All right, peace.